team spirit. And it go, team spirit. Can't you see?
What's good, y'all? It's your man Nirvana Nash, bringing y'all the brand new As Nirvana. Just to get started off, kind of wanted y'all to understand what we're doing here now. Really, it's gonna be a mix between me just giving y'all, what I'm going through, how I'm feeling, especially in the beginning parts right here, and kind of talking to y'all about like my music more. Actually diving into the process. It's gonna be a little bit of like a tutorial almost of how I make stuff and how I create. Also to give y'all an in-depth look of anybody who looking out there to be like audio engineer or mix, they own music. I'm definitely here to help. I'm here if you got any questions. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment if you got any questions. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram at nirvananash.odp. Nirvana Nash on Facebook, or hit me up, Curtis Nash, man. Either way, just hit me up on my regular page. But yeah, so recently I just dropped shout out to Lil Wayne, the mixtape. Don't worry about that. That's people arguing outside. But I just dropped shout out Lil Wayne, the mixtape, and that was a pretty good success. Over the last month, it's gotten like a couple thousand streams, views, because I didn't put it up on streaming services for obvious reasons. But it was a great project for me. I enjoyed doing it. I had a lot of fun doing it. I appreciated everybody who hit me up about it and who let me know like how they felt. I got a music video coming out pretty soon. This is, what is today? The 28th. So it'll be coming out on the 1st of July. June 28th. My bad. Yeah, just getting back into the swing of things. I don't want to bore y'all too much or anything like that. I'm going to be posting some random clips from other stuff going on. Maybe like some of the podcast days and stuff like that. Just to give y'all some in-depth look at what I've been doing and how I've been doing it, I guess. I don't got much today, quite frankly. I want to kind of talk to y'all about my process a little bit more and how I make music and what I've been doing basically to get my tracks up and running and get everything going. So like I said, I don't want to bore y'all too much. We just gonna jump into this, and if y'all like it, if y'all need any help, hit me up. So here we go. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just open up a new session. Create a whole blank session. Here. We just go one. Boom. Alright. Alright, so first thing we're going to want to do is we got our Pro Tools sessions loaded up. This is still just like Pro Tools 11. I haven't upgraded. I don't think I am. I ain't got the money to right now. But I think that they got the new subscriptions. They pretty decent price. So I would definitely, if you got a newer MacBook or a newer whatever type of computer you're using to record on, you got the interface that you need to go with everything, which is any interface now, then I would definitely go spring for it, because you're not really going to find any bundle packages of 10 and 11 like you used to. So I'm going to go new track. And first thing I'm going to do is set up the environment. So I'm going to go master fader at the top. We're going to go with, after that, I want 5 aux stereo tracks. Now, we're not going to get into them today, but I want to just set up the environment this way because I know that I'm going to be using those aux ins later on. And then I'm going to put in 6 mono audio tracks just for now. And I'll explain more about why we did it that way later on, probably in later videos, but this is just how I set up the environment to get everything started. I'm going to go ahead and create that. Now, I'm going to come down to my first audio track. And the first thing I do is, actually, before I even do that, is I want to send all of these audio tracks to this that's labeled vocal bus. Now, you could do it for the numbered buses, you could do it for whatever, but this one's already labeled. I already have it set up that way. But it doesn't matter. As long as you remember the numbers, we can go 13, 14. So for this one, I'm going to go vocal bus, but you can do it on any bus that you want to. Mine are just labeled that way already. We'll put vocal bus. All right, then you can go through and you can do that for each one of them, which of course. But right now we're just working on this track, so we're just going to focus on this. Now, what I usually do is I set up what I like to call a subtractive EQ. So I'm going to use my Q10. But, you know, the Pro Tools version of this plugin, or comparison of this plugin, is going to be this one right here, which you can do all of the same exact things with this plugin that I'm doing with mine. But I would suggest that if you want to get into this laptop audio interface, mic, and then maybe get a bundle that you can use as far as like Waves or somebody like that. Waves makes some pretty good plugins and some pretty comparable ones to the ones that I'm going to be using throughout these tutorials. But if you go with the Apollo, or you get the Apollo interface, then you get a lot of really good plugins with that. And I think they have newer smaller interfaces as well that have came out that are all bus powered. So you only got to use a USB, plug it in, and then you're good to go. So I would look into that as well. So we got this, you know, this EQ set up. Boom. Usually what I do with this EQ is I only subtract away from the track. Frequencies, I might lift up and sweep for bad sounding frequencies, and then I turn them down as we go. And that's mainly just because I want to mainly make it sound good now and sound clean with the 2-track or the stem outs that I may have, and we'll get into that part of everything later on as well. But for the time being, I'm going to just leave it like this because we don't have anything there. Then I'm going to get into a compressor. And this compressor that I usually use here is going to be just a regular. All right. Scroll back up. Let me find it. It should be right here. It's a regular RVox. Boom. Usually I don't go past about 6 on the compression for this. But again, we're going to leave that for right now. So here, we're going to take a break real quick, and then we're going to jump right back into it right after this. I'ma squeeze the blick. Soon as you say your side and what you rapping, this that demon shit. I'm
sign away his will to me. Jimmy Iovine gonna die for free. Death Note. I win. Bing bong. But that's just really just the world, to be honest with you. I don't want to be in Dragon Ball Z if I could be a Dragon Ball Z motherfucker. A Z fighter.
You could fly, learn to fly.
If I could be like Oob or somebody like that, who just was like, oh yeah, young black nigga come in. Cause ain't no black people on that show for real.
Yeah. Even though they kind of like saying he kind of like Indian, it's still kind of black. When I first seen him, I was
representation matters.
Yeah,
because the black niggas they had in Dragon Ball.
Popo, Mr. Popo.
I was just saying the black people in general they had in Dragon Ball.
Them lips.
Oh my god.
Bologna skin lips.
Man.
That extra layer.
You guys.
Like how that Gucci shirt was?
Yeah. Basically.
Alright, so now we got this new RVox set up. And what I've done is I've armed the track already. And I'm just going to record something in real quick. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Boom. Raise that up just a little bit. Now we see that we don't hear nothing coming out. Oh, that's muted. But even with it out being muted, it's not anything that's going to play. And that's because we have to set our vocal bus on one of these auxes so that it'll play out and onto the speakers or headphones or whatever it is. But since this is in the input or this is on the output, then this needs to be on the input. So we'll go ahead and mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. So there we have it right there. Now, what I usually do on the aux track is I'm going to start off with a de-esser. Instead of putting a de-esser on every single audio track, I'm going to just put a de-esser on the overall mix of the vocals. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to throw on what I like to say is Additive EQ. And that's something that's going to give it a little bit more flavor, a little bit more juice, sauce, whatever you want to call it. So what I like to use is the Neve 1073. It's a great plugin, and honestly, it's probably one of the best EQs. Now, these plugins come with the UAD if you have any universal audio, but if you don't, just focus on getting a laptop mic audio interface. You can use the Pro Tools already built-in plugins, or you can just go out and get like a Waves bundle, and there's a lot of emulations of these exact same plugins in those Wave bundles, and they work good, especially as things have been progressing more and more. So I would definitely look into that and save money until you actually understand these plugins a little bit more and you understand how to use them a little bit more, and then go out and go ahead and buy some of these big boy plugins, and you'll hear the difference, but you're going to hear the difference in the mix just in general with the way that we have everything in the signal flow, because that's one of the biggest misconceptions with a lot of people. It's just a lot of tracks stacked on top of each other. It's not really any taming of dynamics. So lastly on here, what I want to add is a little bit more of a kind of, I wouldn't call it linear, but it doesn't have as much character to it, and that's going to be this Teletonics Legacy compressor. So you see we got a compressor here, and then we got a compressor up here as well. So, boom. All right, and that's just kind of the beginning of the whole vocal chain right there. The next time that I talk to y'all about this stuff, what we're going to do is we're going to add in a 2-track just to make it simple so you can see how it is with a beat. and how we started using some of this signal path all together. And then you'll see like why we might split these things
1
up
2
and
mic
then
check
bring
1
them back
2
together. Because specifically with that, like I have manipulation ability here and I have manipulation ability here. And we're going to do that for all of the tracks as we go down. Really what we can do is we can just go here, shift. Sorry, somebody's going to get on me for not using the keys and the shortcuts. But we can just do this, bang. Oh, no. And duplicate this track. And everything that's in it, we can get rid of the active playlist, so this little speaking part won't be in it. And let's say we just do that 5 times to get us back up to our 6. Boom. Now we got those already ready, primed, ready to go. The vocal bus is already on them, as you see as we go down. So cool. Now all we got to do is add in a 2-track next time. And we can get started just by doing this stereo audio instead of mono. And then boom, that's primed and ready to go. So next time we talk about this stuff, I'm going to get a little bit more into this signal flow and why we set it up this way. We're going to add into a 2-track and get our vocals in the 2-track sent into an actual mix bus. And then either that time we might set up the reverbs and stuff like that, or we might get into that stuff the time after that. But what you're gonna want to do is save this, because we can template this and use it for later on. And then all you have to do is just load up this file every time you load up a track, and then or you want to do a song, and then boom, you don't have to fuss around with making this every single time. Which, as an audio engineer who actually used to get paid to be an audio engineer, it was one of the biggest mistakes I made constantly. I always was recreating the environment over and over and over again. And granted, I was like 22 at the time, so it was just like, when you that age, you kind of feel like you could just do it quickly, but what it leads to is a lot of mistakes, honestly. With this, you can tweak it, and if you do make a mistake or signal flow is messed up somewhere where you need to change it, you can change it and then still have the template already ready for you to go. So it definitely helps out a lot. But yeah, that's kind of the first one that we gonna do with this one. Just setting this up. I want to show y'all how to set it up, and if y'all got questions, you can ask me, and I give y'all time to ask me some questions. And other than that, like, subscribe, share, everything y'all can. We out.